Welcome to Learning Bites. So we're looking at factors that occur when growth masks weaknesses creeping in and cracking organizations.
What cracks only show up once growth slows down in a business or pressure increases?
So typically if a business is growing really fast, the three key things that immediately put pressure on a business, and typically I find they come up in this order, is if you're growing fast, cash flow tends to be the first pain point you feel. And then your business systems tend to really start to struggle as they're having to adapt to the extra amount that's being put onto them. And thirdly, the people. And what I find is that once you've sort of started to grow, people are coping and making it work and finding workarounds. And so what we can often find is that when you've got to a point of growth, if you're relying on people who have found workarounds rather than solid systems, that's when the cracks really start to appear.
So what are leaders often reluctant to look at while things are still working?
I find that the thing that leaders most often ignore is how is the culture inside the organization. When it's growing, that can be quite an exciting time, and you kind of feel that it's going well, and you're kind of rallying people, just hang on, we're going to get there, we're going to get there. But if your people are beginning to get too stretched or too burnt out, or even just feeling like they're not being seen anymore because it's grown so much, they're thinking, when was the last time I connected with you? When was the last time somebody spoke to me? Why am I actually doing all of this? And that's where culture really makes a difference. And so leaders who understand that rapid growth can distract from the culture that you want. And it's the culture that often gives you that initial momentum that attracts the customers to you. Remember that your internal culture is directly reflected in your external customer experience. So leaders need to watch and nurture their internal culture.
So then what is one thing that business leaders might focus on and take away from this?
I think business leaders need to find a way of keeping their fingers on the pulse of the culture in their organization. Now, there are many tools for that. There's Tiny Pulse, Office Vibe, and things like that where you can actually put something in place. But actually, management by walking around, actually just checking in with your people. We talked previously around delegating stuff that other people can do. You as a leader need to take ownership and responsibility for your culture. And if you don't have a way of doing that, my strong encouragement is to make sure that you get back to basics, that you survey your team internally, that you make sure that people are still connected to the mission, to the vision, to the purpose that you exist, and that they're still feeling like they're making a difference and that what they do every day impacts people in a positive way. Here's to your success.